Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you all? I hope you are well and taking good care of your health. This is going to be your first lesson of your computer book. In this lesson, we will discuss the chapter number 3, and the chapter number 3 is History of Computers. So, the chapter we will do today is History of Computers. I hope you are excited for this lesson. So, let's move. So, the material required for this lesson is lead pencil, razor, highlighter, computer book, notebook and ruler. I hope you collected all these things and you are ready for this lesson. Learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to know the history of computers, first generations of computers, and the last one is second generations of computers. In this lesson, we will discuss generations of computers. Generation. The term generation used to indicate the hardware and software technology used in a computer. Dear students, open your computer science book and come to page number 17. Firstly, write day, today's task and date on your computer books. I hope you prepared all the things that we needed for this lesson. So, let's begin. Let us learn about what the computers of the past were like and how they evolved into modern computers. In this chapter, we will also learn about some exciting technology that uses computers. Now moving to first main heading of this chapter, History of Computers. Computers play a very important role in our daily lives. Highlight this line, computers play a very important role in our daily lives. Before we even had computers, we used some calculating devices. The abacus is one of the oldest calculating devices known to humankind. Computers developed over generations. As I told you the term generation, as computers improved over generations, they become smaller, faster and even cheaper. Ask your elders how much a computer cost when they were your age. Dear students, here are some calculating devices for you. Did you know Pascaline calculators, Napier bonds and the difference engine were some of the earliest calculating devices. Now we're moving the main topic of this chapter, generations of computers. The computers of today have evolved over 5 generations. The oldest were the first generation computers. The computers that we use today are mostly fourth generations computer. Underline these lines. The computer that we use today are mostly fourth generations computers. From the first to fifth generation, computers have greatly improved the technology they used. Dear students, here is the timeline of the evaluation of computers, by which we can know the time period of each generation, like first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation of computer. Now we will discuss the first generation computer. The time period of first generation computer is 1940 till 1956. In first generation of computer was built using vacuum tube and magnetic drums for memory as major component. The technology used in first generation is vacuum tubes and the first generation time period is 1940 till 1956. Now we're reading the first generation of computer. Now moving to page number 8. First generation computers were used between 1940 till 1956. Highlight the time period of first generation 1940 and 1956. They used the technology of vacuum tubes. In first generation, they used the technology of vacuum tubes. These computers were large and expensive. They also needed a lot of electricity to work and were much slower than the computers of today. Again, I repeat, the फर्स्ट जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स कब यूज हुए थे 1940 till 1956 and the technology used in first generation are vacuum tubes. The first generation computer were larger and expensive. वो साइज में बहुत ज़्यादा बड़े भी थे और महंगे भी थे. They are also needed a lot of electricity to work. आप लोगों को पता है जब एक चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ी होती है तो उस पर हमारे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी उतनी ही ज़्यादा कंज्यूम होती है. बट all of these facts they were much slower than the computers. साइज भी बड़ा था, महंगे भी थे, बट इनकी स्पीड बहुत ज्यादा स्लो थी कंपैरिजन द टुडेज कंप्यूटर. For more detail, I will tell you the vacuum tubes definition. Here is the keyword of vacuum tubes. Vacuum tube from which air has been removed which allows electricity to flow through it. वैक्यूम ट्यूब की आप लोगों की फिगर भी बनी हुई है एंड द कीवर्ड इज एंड द मीनिंग ऑफ वैक्यूम ट्यूब इज अ ट्यूब फ्रॉम विच एयर हैज बीन रिमूव्ड which allows electricity to flow through it. After reading the first generation of computer, now we are moving to second generation computer. The time period of second generation is 1956 till 1963. Time period mean वो time जिस time में वो generation use हुई. 1956 till 1963 is the time period of second generation computer. Now we are reading the generation of computers. Second generation computers were used between 1956 till 1963 and the second generation the technology of transistors. Second generation का टाइम पीरियड क्या था 1956 till 1963 और उसमें जो टेक्नोलॉजी यूज हुई थी ट्रांजिस्टर्स. बट एज कंपेयर टू फर्स्ट जनरेशन computer they are smaller and cheaper. However, they were still much larger than the computers we use today. ये smaller भी थे और cheaper भी थे but comparison to first generation but अभी भी ये बहुत ज़्यादा बड़े थे as compared to we use computers today. Now we know the keyword. The keyword is transistor. A device that controls the flow of electric current is called transistors. वो वाली डिवाइस जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के फ्लो को कंट्रोल करती है वो डिवाइस ट्रांजिस्टर्स होती है. After reading the first generation and the second generation of computer, here is comparison between vacuum tubes versus transistors. Vacuum tubes are used in first generation and the transistors are used in second generation. The time period of vacuum tubes used in 1940 till 1956 and the time period of transistors that they are used is 1956 till 1963. Vacuum tube, a tube from which air has been removed which allows electricity to flow through it. And other hand, the transistor is a device that controls the flow of electric current. I hope all of you know the vacuum tubes and transistors. Now we have done today's book work. Now it's time for your notebook as we do in our classroom. So write down this work in a very neat handwriting on the notebooks that has been provided to you in the start of the session. So this is your notebook and on blank page you will draw the title page of chapter number 3 and on lining page you will write the content of the unit. In content these things are included: reading, exercise, worksheet, assessment. So I hope this is now clear. So, I hope you understood each and every point of this chapter which we will discuss today. So, here is a little assessment for you that you can assess yourself. Here are 4 filling the blanks for you. First one is first generation computers used in dash. Second one is dash technology used in first generation computers. Third one is second generation computers used in dash. And the last and the fourth one is dash technology used in second generation's computers. All of you know the answers and properly do this assessment. So, dear student, here is quick review of today's lesson. In today's lesson, we discussed history of computers, first generation of computers, second generations of computers, keywords, and the last one is did you know. In next lesson, we will discuss about chapter number 3 history of computers, third generation, fourth generation, and the fifth generation of computers. Students, I hope that today's topic are now clear and you have to understood each and every point. Now this is time for task to do. So what you have to do is make title page and content page of chapter number 3, and the second one is reading page number 19 of chapter number 3 history of computers. So, I hope today's lesson was helpful for you and you understood each and every point which we will discuss today. So, I will see you in my next lesson. Till then, take care of your health and family. Allah Hafiz.